Well, hi everybody. A lot's been happening. I'm sure you'll all know, but maybe you don't. So that's why I thought I'd better just get in here and tell you, because it's incredible, isn't it? The things that this world is not finding out about. For instance, the fires over at Hawaii. So I have to watch my words, and how is total blackout of news. I'll show you a little clip of that, but I'm just going to have to breeze through, because what is happening now is a blood sacrifice. This is the anniversary of September 11, and I don't know how many of you remember my dreams way back when New Zealand had the first Christchurch earthquake, and not many of you are probably Jewish, so you probably didn't realise what I was waffling on about then when I said it was on Rosh Hashanah. It was on, the Day of Atonement. Yep, that was because that's the holiest day of the year for Jews, and it happened after the Queen invited Pope Ratzinger to Westminster Abbey, first time in 500 years, and he walked over the graves of the martyrs. And after that earthquake, so that was in the September, and 9th or 10th, I believe that was, and then there was another really big one in January or somewhere around then, at the same time as there was one at Haiti. And in Haiti, all that was left standing was this cross. And that was a sign to the world that the church was now come under judgment. Well, a lot of amazing things are happening now. Okay, what was I saying then? That was just the earthquake? Right. So I knew it was judgment, but also, some of you will know, so I'm just going to reiterate, because, I can say, look, guys, everything I said is true, and a lot of you gave me a lot of flack, but it's all coming true. And so these are the dreams that I've had, and this is all proving that Obama is the Antichrist, just like I said, and now he's actually come out. For those of you who don't know, just look it up, that he's actually come out as gay, in as much as his girlfriend, he used to fantasize about men, even when he had a girlfriend way back then. But the whole deal that they're doing now is exposing him so that they can put Michelle up for president. And I hope many of you will remember the dream that I had about her also, several dreams about her being decked out in these amazing clothes, and another one, and she was lying in this great white bed. But in that one, I just went in there and shouted her, and she fell out of the bed. And that's what I hope you'll do now, that even though that they've got this really sick plan in the wings, waiting to bring her into the wing, to run for president, it's not going to happen. So, but we see now, it's on Sky News that Obama is actually running Biden from the basement, so all these things that totally confirm that he is the Antichrist, because one of the scriptures, the requisites of the Antichrist is that he does not desire the love of woman, and so that has all come out. So that's just one of many. But anyway, I want to concentrate on Trump. So this is 10th of November, 2016. So this was when he was elected. So I just want to play this because Connie sent me this, but it's come out that the powers that be, down in Antarctica, many of you will remember, I had this dream that, and it says here, so this is on 10th of November 2016, okay, it's so old it's actually running out, and it says a woman from New Zealand had been given a home in the USA, well that was me, and now she was living there as a beekeeper. So if you don't understand the symbolism of beekeeper, the beehive, and she's the queen bee. And I went to visit her. The house looked nice from the outside, but it was quite small and basic inside. I had been there for a while. She had eaten meals, but not offered me any. I was becoming concerned I would go hungry. Started asking if there were shops nearby. Thought I'd have to buy so basically I told her how disappointed I was, how rude she was. She didn't even seem to care. Well, that just epitomises the treatment that the church, especially those who I cannot name, like Rhonda et al., Barry Scarborough, these so-called Christians that actually had code names, so the code name for me, so that they could talk about me behind my back and, on their comments. It was quite horrendous, the things that I went through, but I was telling the truth all the time. So I do hope you guys will come and apologise to me. I won't hold my breath though. Okay, so so the 3 dreams there. So this is when he won, and then that was when John Kerry went straight to Antarctica, right? And here I've got on the 11th of the 11th, 2016, a woman who had been given a prophecy years before was concerned about it and wanted some of us to interpret. Okay, so that's, it was talking about the prophecy, the time of prophecy coming through now. Paul Begley lying down in a bed in a suit and me telling him he was lazy. And that's pretty much what I've had to do. The whole church, American church, which had everything, the ministers were just lazy and they were not interpreting the word and really pressing into the word. They were sitting on their laurels. And that is why the church had to come into judgment. But also there, a lovely blackbird was in the house and it didn't want to go out. It was very friendly and loved to be stroked. Birds symbolise prophecy. All through the night, the word Monday was emphasised. Something big will happen on Monday, 14th of the 11th, 2016. So that was when we had the earthquake and in Kaikoura. So that was many years after the first one on the Day of Atonement, which was 2010. So it is now 13 years to the day that we had the initial one that was in 2010, and would you believe it, there was an earthquake in Christchurch again today. But the important thing that I really want to emphasise today is that there was a monster one in all places, Morocco, which doesn't have them, and those of you who are Christians, you remember what Jesus said about his return, which was that there will be earthquakes in diverse places. Also, there's some amazing other things. If you look up, it's as if the Muslim world is now the one that is coming into judgment, and that is what God also told me. And so he's the Assyrian. Obama was the Assyrian, and I've done several videos of it showing that he is the Assyrian, the stranger who came into the land. And many people probably don't understand the connection. Why Islam? Islam, wasn't always, didn't exist. Islam was actually created by the Roman Catholic Church. You can look that up. Hopefully it's still up there. I just looked up years ago who created Islam, and it actually was the Roman Catholic Church, the Jesuits, and it has been to use this great war of religions, because of course, Abraham had 2 sons, Edom, and one was Isaac, and one was Ishmael, and so they both come from the same stock. So and in the Bible it says very clearly that they will come back together. But what is happening now, I don't know if you've seen, hopefully I'll be able to show it to you, in incredible floods in Arabia, in Dubai, and Mecca. There it's incredible what's happening. All these people, I'll show it to you, just getting blown around. All the people around the great, at Mecca, just getting blown away, and it's amazing. But of course, in Isaiah 35, it says there that let the wilderness and the thirsty land be glad, let the desert rejoice and burst into flower. Let it rejoice for joy, the glory of Carmel and Lebanon is given to it. Then shall blind man's eyes be opened, and the ears of the deaf unstopped. Then shall the lame man leap like a deer. So this is where people are finally going to wake up, and it's, repeated in my second address, which I've told you so much about, second address 6, which prophesies Trump as the king, unwelcome to the inhabitants of the earth, succeeds to the throne, and that is where we are at. And but further on, it talks about the troubles that the world is going to have to go through, and it says, "Whoever is left after all that I have foretold, he shall be preserved, and then they shall see the deliverance that I bring and the end of this world of mine. They shall see all the men who are taken up into heaven without ever knowing death." Those are the people who were raptured. "Then shall men on earth feel a change of heart and come to a better mind." So that's where we are here also. But earlier in Isaiah 33, again it talks about the king. So it says whole nation. But okay, so this is something I did want to bring up also. This video there, can you see that? My camera's not working again as always. So we've got this picture here with that. That was a vision that I had one night after I asked Dennis to anoint me with oil, and I just was sitting there. It was at midnight, and I just saw this rise up. And recently, and I've put the scripture here. "If you had known what these words mean, I desire mercy, not sacrifice, you would not have condemned the innocent." And I'm afraid that's very much what the church has done, and especially to people like me, just total condemnation, even though I was innocent and I was the one telling the truth. But, you all came at me like banshees, en masse to attack. As I used to do those videos, and call you, pack of dogs. But praise God, it's all for His glory. And so I just wanted to read here, because the Lord has recently given me a dream to say that because the women were not good, because the people did not have the mercy, that what happened back here when Trump was elected, one of the other dreams that I had that night was of here it is, something like a bullet or a metal shaft had been joined to a circle of hose, and all was well now. It was an important join, creating safety and change. So there it is. But unfortunately, how did the people treat him? How did they treat him? This whole world came as one and attacked him, as it is also prophesied in here. I wonder if I can just find this. It was amazing. Okay, so, oh golly, right. It talks about the whole, even though the people were absolutely frightened of this man, they all still gathered, all the nations gathered as one to attack this man. And of course that has happened, and the world will be judged because of it. So we've got here, the day is near when the Most High will begin to bring deliverance to those on earth. Then men will be all filled with a great alarm and will plot to make war on one another, city on city, region on region, nation on nation. When this happens and all the signs I have shown you come to pass, then my Son will be revealed to you, whom you saw as a man rising from the sea. Now, and if you don't know it, that's where Trump came from. He came from the Isle of Lewis. Okay, and so that is not Jesus, is it? We all know where Jesus came from. but here it says in Isaiah 33, with this event at Hawaii, I will show you the incredible media blackout, a little bit of what I can show you, but I'll just have to leave the links. This is a new video, so I will actually leave the links. Sadly, with all my old ones, when you get taken down, all the links get taken down as well. But so this is the 9th of the 10th, 2023. So I'll leave the links, but these are stories from people who are there now saying what the heck has happened, and that there are like at least 2,000 children totally unaccounted for, and the people have been kept from going in. You know, they've put walls around this whole place. You know, they can't, you know, to find the children or anything like this. And but this is how it is reported. This is the end destruction that certain people whose names I cannot mention here, who have been the protocols of ZION, I've talked about many times, which people say is a hoax. And if you look it up, and if you look up Janet Osibard, and look up her videos on that, she does a whole series of them. And one of the last judgments, or the very last judgments, which I've also done videos about, is the fire, where they are going to set all the cities on fire. And this is also what I've dreamt coming true. And I'll just read to you in Isaiah 33, because it says, whole nations will be heaps of ash, or like thorns cut down and set on fire. In Zion, sinners quake with terror. The godless are seized with trembling and ask, can any of us live with a devouring fire? Can any live with endless burning? The man who lives an upright life and speaks the truth, who scorns to enrich himself by extortion, who snaps his fingers at a bribe, who stops his ears to hear nothing of bloodshed, who closes his eyes to the sight of evil, that is the man who shall dwell on the heights, his refuge a fastness in the cliffs, his bread secure and his water never failing. Your eyes shall see a king, only a little king, so it's not Jesus, we're just talking about a man again, a king in his splendour. You will call to mind what you once feared. Okay, so where am I? Okay, back to this. So this is it for those of you, you know, who don't believe what I said to you when I had that all through the night, saying something big, huge will happen on Monday. So this is 2 days after Trump's election, when John Kerry went flying, you know, to Antarctica to try and plead with the powers of be to let Hillary win. And he came back to New Zealand, and that was why John Key resigned, because he was part of the Five Eyes, and New Zealand had agreed to spy on Trump, and with other nations such as England and Australia. And and so when Trump won, all of a sudden, you know, John Key knew he was in deep schmuck, because Trump also was, or he hadn't done it then, but he knew what was happening on, because he's part of this movement. Look it up. And so all the white hats, they're all planned to take all the houses from the people and the money, even from governments. So Trump signed an executive order on December the 21st, 2017, or the first year, 2016, and saying that he could confiscate all funds and property of countries and the people who are involved in it. So that's us in a big way. So John Key, he was out of there fast because he could not sign up to that agreement again. So if you didn't know, now you know. But the earthquake hit. So the hardest thing is figuring out if it's the good guys down there. So if you haven't heard of Operation High Jump, you can look that up, and that talks about Admiral Byrd, who went down with this huge expedition down there, and the forces, the power that, he reports these things, flying ships coming out of the ground, out of the sea and everything. And he, I think he had something like 300 ships, right? And it was just meant to be some kind of a blooming, just fact-finding operation or something ridiculous, yeah. But, so he spoke about it afterwards. So you can look that all up. That's Admiral Byrd, B-Y-R-D. But the powers that be, which is the story that was the Hitler's lot who went down then, that they didn't actually lose the war and they had set up bases down there. So that's why there's a no-fly zone over there, and all the countries have agreed to this. So this was confirmed by this guy here, and I'll just...
The key that opened every single door in the facility. I had complete access to every compartment they manufactured.
What are you blowing the whistle on?
That there are technologies at the South Pole Station that people can't even consider that exist on this planet. Directed energy weapon systems is something that people need to get into their vocabulary fast. The Ice Cube neutrino detector is not simply a passive listening device as presented for the science that they're claiming it to do. It also has the capacity to transmit. There are embedded in the ice what are called digital optical modules, DOMs. They're about the size of a basketball. The array embedded in the ice is 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer. It is the world's largest telescope, and now because we have proven that it can transmit, it's the world's largest directed energy weapon system. It is responsible for the earthquakes in Christchurch, New Zealand. I physically held a key that opened every single door in the facility. I had
Okay, so here we also, this is, I'll just turn this noise off because because I have to watch every word that gets played because of the algorithms, of course, so we don't need to see this idiot. So look this up. This is, I've never come across, but it's called the JECTED show. I've never ever heard it before.
Steel engine blocks melted and stuff. Like, people would want to test that. And so instead, they're like, no, let's fence that off, please. Thank you. Don't look behind here. Let's actually put sealant on it, too, so any ash hopefully doesn't fly over where you can test it from down the street. And then let's scrape it all up. And then what, are they going to go fucking dump it in the ocean and hide all the evidence like we did with 9/11?
Totally. Well, I mean, that's the big thing, too. Like Zach, you say it's a crime scene, but...
Okay, so I'll just leave the links, but this is the same thing. It's 9/11. And what you can't... I'll try and just get here really fast. What you've got to understand, that the same people who I cannot mention, even though I'm one of them, even I'm a real one, not one of those ones, and I'll just show you what they are up to. Okay, so... and that it was a blood sacrifice, just as 9/11 was. And any of you who still don't understand that 9/11 was an INSIDE job, look up my Rumble channel at Christine Gavin Broken Twig, and you will find the first-hand testimony of Rudy Dent, D-E-N-T, who was the fire chief on duty that day, and he was able, sorry, I can't see myself. Those of you who don't understand, I can't see myself because of my screen's all gone. So he was the fire chief, and he was the only one who was able to come forward because he already retired and got his payout. All the other guys that were there, they would lose everything, all their retirements, everything, if they said anything. But Rudy Dent, he has, and it's on my Rumble channel, Christine Gavin, Broken Twig. Okay, so there's other ones also that are there. Okay, so this is what I found here. This is amazing. So this is about this, the people that have been running this world, the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, right? So that was, if you don't know what that is, was set up so that nobody was able to ever question what really happened in World War II. Nobody can ever say anything about these people, who I am one. But we're talking about a different sort, the sort that are over in Ukraine, and you can also find everything you need about them on Janet Osibard. Okay, Janet Osibard, you can only find her on Rumble now, but she has done a huge series, incredible series. She brings up like Bill Gates. She does a whole lot on him because, of course, he is one as well. Even though they try and make out that he's not even Jewish. So anyway, but this here. 9/11 was a blood sacrifice, and so what has happened now over in Hawaii is the same thing. So you have to be really prepared for these fires that, as he has just told you, the directed energy weapons. And I did videos years ago, some of them might be up, I don't know, have a look, but showing the ones in California and how all the buildings burnt, but the trees were fine, because they are directed energy weapons. And that is talked about in Revelations. And that's when I told you that Jacinda Ardern was the beast from the land. Land means woman, and that she supports those who, she supports the first beast. The first beast was the beast from the sea, which was Barack Hussein Obama. And Jacinda carried on in his reign, and she, Revelation, I'm not too sure, probably 13, yeah, I think it's Revelation 13, talks all about the first beast, and she was the one, because it says she was the one that caused everyone to get a mark, which was, had to have the, JAB, before, or you couldn't, buy or sell. So she was the one that brought that in there. So here it is. So it talks about, yet a third angel appeared, crying out loud, whoever worships the beast and its image receives its mark on its forehead or hand. He shall drink the wine of God's wrath, poured up. He shall the smoke of their torment. Okay, so that's not the one. But okay, I'll just for those of you who haven't seen my other videos showing that Donald Trump, that Revelation 9 and 20, when it talks about Apollyon, that it's actually, I believe it's Donald Trump, that he is the angel that's come down, and that even though, so it's the angel, they had a king, the angel of the abyss. This is Revelation 8:9. They had a king, the angel of the abyss, whose name in Hebrew is Abaddon, and in Greek Apollyon, or the destroyer. And then it talks about him, but he comes and he only destroys those who do not have the mark, the seal of God on them. So, and then he throws the devil into the pit. So he can hardly be the devil, but unfortunately the likes of Tom Horn and all the rest of it have told you that Abaddon is the Antichrist, and that's what my dream means about those like Paul Begley lying down in their suits. They've got all the riches, they've got everything from the church, but they were lazy. They were lazy and didn't actually press into God. Otherwise, He would have shown them the truth of these scriptures, as I have. And it was prophesied. Kim Clement prophesied that a woman from New Zealand, I believe, would actually bring new revelation to the scriptures, Revelation 9 and 20. Okay, so look it up, read it again and again, and I will just show you now what's about to happen, because this is relating to the first blood sacrifice, which was World War I and II, and that is why what Hitler man was all about, that he was trying to stop these same people bringing communism to destroy our land. And okay, so this is this huge huge thing that they put on at the World's Fair, and it's showing Moloch giving babies into Baal, burning these babies